In this video, I'll give you a tactical Krav Maga formula to beat the shit out of someone and still look like a good guy. If you're a bad guy, I have to disappoint you. There's nothing for you in this video and you can switch it off now. It's a Krav Maga self-defense formula for good guys to never be confused and don't end up with problems with the law. Let me teach you exactly how to do this, and let's start right now.
Are you listening? Damn.
Hi, my name is Edmund. I'm a Krav Maga expert. If this is your first time here and you're into Krav Maga, self-defense, martial arts and fighting, make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell button so you get all our future videos. And real quick, before I give you exact formula, let me know in the comments below if you've ever had a situation when you were very confused what to do in that situation exactly to stay in between the law and your safety. It's a very confusing topic for most Kravers, and once you start learning how to fight, you are wondering when would be exactly that moment when I could actually use my skills and be a good guy. Using your self-defense skills, which you are working hard for, might put you in a really bad position against the law. I know I had the confusion and no one explained it to me. How would it work and what's the exact formula to make it work for me and use my self-defense and still look like a good guy and never have problems with the law. So you defended yourself, right? Yay, well done to you. You know what? If it went to a physical level, that means you have beaten someone up. And in the eyes of the law, that is called an assault. Until you can prove, or the police can prove, that you have used reasonable force and you had a reason to use it in the first place, what you've done is called an assault. Once all this cleared up and the situation is clear, maybe then it's a self-defense. Few people have to be happy with that. The witnesses, the cameras, the police. But wait, Krav Maga is all about winning in that self-defense situation, right? Yeah, 100%. And now we have to ask ourselves, what's the definition of a win? So by definition in Krav Maga, if you are back home and in one piece, you have won. If you are back home, that means you are not in a hospital or you are not arrested in jail. And in one piece, that means whatever happened didn't lead to your injury. So if you are in jail, that probably means you won the battle, but you didn't win the war. So what you want to do in self-defense in Krav Maga, you want to keep the balance and the exact formula for staying between not getting beaten up and assaulted and not assaulting others. There is a perfect spot for self-defense. By the way, when you are ever in self-defense situation and it gets physical, you might get arrested, and that doesn't mean anything bad. Remember that the police officer who comes to the scene, he's got no clue what happened, and until he knows exactly what happened, he has to make sure he's got two people who were involved in that situation. The more serious the situation, the more likely that you'll be arrested also. But again, it doesn't mean anything. So don't ever panic, don't ever get scared just because you use your self-defense skills. It's okay, you are still a good person. As long as your actions were reasonable and justified, it's all good. Alright, now let's get to the formula as I promised. So now imagine that in front of me there's someone who's actually aggressive towards me, and I'm not sure if they won't hit me in a split of a second. My personal rule is no one who's aggressive and potentially dangerous to me is ever staying close to me. What I do straight away, I create distance one way or another. One of the best ways to create distance is stepping away, but at the same time remember people have legs and they can step forward also. So the other way, if the person is trying to step forward with you, is doing educational block. Educational block is something very simple. You're pushing with the base of the palm on the chest of the person, then 3 fingers in the throat at the same time to send the message that you actually want this person away. Many people will be bigger than you and stronger than you if they are attacking you, so the assumption is you have to send them some type of message for them to even move or react to your push. So when you are pushing with the base of the palm and 3 fingers in the throat, at the same time I want you to bring the other hand up to protect your face and get your body sideways to be in the fighting stance. The push has to be very dynamic and you have to go both ways. You are pushing the person and you are stepping away at the same time. So I don't really care if you can push that person away. What has to happen is creating distance so they can't reach you, they can't hit you. At the same time, very useful and very important part of this formula is verbal de-escalation. Verbal de-escalation is something very simple. Keep it simple, don't get confused, don't use thousands of different sentences, use one very simple sentence. Both hands forward and strong command, stay back. Why is that important? One thing is the person might listen to you actually and do what you say, which is great, and this is the safety mechanism. I told you that this formula can't be used by bad people, and that's mainly because after the push, educational block, normal good person would stay away and they would never come back forward. But now imagine I'm the good guy, I pushed away the bad guy. What do you think is going to happen? It's either one of the two things. He's going to stay back because he will believe that you have the ability to defend yourself and he will not step forward. That's a very good outcome. You should be happy about that. That's a win. Or another thing will happen. he will step forward and start attacking you or try to attack you. And that's fine, because what you've done so far created the whole scenario of you being the good person and you trying to de-escalate the situation as much as possible. So if there are witnesses and cameras, what they saw was an aggressive person in front of you, you pushed them away, you shouted stay back, your palms were open. The open palm are a key to look like you are the defender. You're not the attacker, you're not clenching your fist. It's a very, very important part. So even if you decided to go into fighting stance, I would personally recommend fighting stance number 1. The only difference in fighting stance and fighting stance number 1 is your palms are open. Open palms are international sign of I don't want to fight, leave me alone, stay back. In that way, the witnesses and the cameras around will know who's the good person there. And again, we are hoping for the bad guy not to even step forward closer to you. We want him to keep distance, and that's okay. But if he decided to assault you and attack you, you have the full right to defend yourself. So once again, to recap, there's a bad person in front of me. Now I feel threatened, I feel like I'm in danger. I could step back. If that's possible, do that. Or if it's not possible to do it fast enough and I think the danger is there, what I do, I push with one arm or both at the same time. The push is very dynamic and strong. I make the person fly away from me. The base of the palm is pushing on the chest, the 3 fingers are pushing the throat. In case the person is much bigger, they will not react to your push on the chest. You have to push the fingers in the throat. Everyone will step back. At the same time, you are stepping back and creating distance. Distance is the key in self-defense. Once you've got the distance and the person is away, you are going sideways slightly, so you are in a very good fighting stance number 1. Why is it number 1 again? Both palms are open and they are forward. International sign of saying, stay back, I don't want to have trouble. At the same time, you are commanding the person to stay back, actually shouting, stay back. The witnesses will see who's the good person there because you are the one wanting to separate. You don't want to have any physical conflict with this person. If all went well, the person is going to stay away from you, and that's a good thing. That's a win in your book in Krav Maga. You are a total winner now. If the bad guy didn't listen to you and he stepped forward aggressively to attack you, to do some bad things to you, now you are way more justified to use force. You warned the person, you wanted to stay back, you created distance. None of it worked, and now you had to take action to defend yourself. I hope that clarifies a lot of confusion for you. When I was training Krav Maga as a student, I was really confused. When would it be the moment I could actually use my skills to defend myself and not to be the bad person in this situation? Now I hope you are clear about it and this formula will help you. Make sure you review this video again and make sure you clarify this in your head, because when the moment comes, there's no time for thinking. Now is the time to clarify things in your head and make it work when it needs to work. If you are into Krav Maga, martial arts, self-defense and fighting, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our videos. Thanks for watching, stay safe, keep training, and I'll see you in the next video.